Hello and welcome to the channel. Today is a very special day. This is a Dodge Challenger Hellcat Super Stock 807 supercharged horsepower. I'm at Texas Motor Speedway. I've got the red key and they let me drive the shit out of this thing. Okay, this is not a track day video. This is an audio video, but I will put a full hot lap at the end of this so that you all can watch it if you want to. Now, this is how I secure my mic under the hood. I put a piece of gaffer's tape or gaff tape inside of the alligator clip. I put one over the alligator clip, and a lot of times I put one on the 3.5 millimeter line after the actual mic. I place it as near as possible in a good spot to the audio I want to capture, which on this car is the turbo blow off. And I make sure that I'm not going to put it in a spot where I'm going to crush either the mic or pinch the cable in half when I close the hood. I'm going to go ahead and give it a rev to make sure that I'm not clipping. After your rev test, double check your hood, double check your connections, double check your tape, because once you get going, you won't know that you didn't get it right until it's too late. So double check everything and then let that baby eat. To see how I capture exhaust pipe audio without all the wind noise, even though I'm going at track speeds, nearly 100 miles an hour, even that short area, you need to watch my Jimmy Rig video. Yes, Jimmy Rig. Why is it called Jimmy? Because it looks like a Jimmy. Just click on the video and I'll show you all how I capture exhaust audio cleanly. All right, so here we are in DaVinci Resolve 18 Studio Public Beta, but everything I'm going to show you, you can do in not only Resolve 17, but the free versions of 17 and 18. You do not need a studio license to do this. So up top, I have the footage and the matching GoPro audio in green here. The orange is my underhood audio and the blue is my tailpipe audio. I've already got all three of them synced. If you need to know, the way to change your clip color is just go to clip color. That does not make any difference whatsoever. I usually don't even do this, but I wanted to make it easier for you guys to keep track of what I'm doing here. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and just unlink and get rid of that GoPro audio because it's only there to sync. And then I'm going to drag these up just to clean up the timeline. And whenever you're dragging around audio that you've already synced up, whenever you see this timeline ticker that's attached to the side of your mouse head here, if there's any numbers to that, that means that you're moving your audio left and right, forwards or backwards in time. So you want that to be quadruple zeros. Easiest way to do that is to have the playhead on a cut point that matches a cut point across every clip you're going to be moving and the clip that you have it synced to. Make sure you have your snapping turned on, and then it's going to want to snap to that point on the playhead and keep everything nice and synced up. Now at this point you can link everything if you want to, but I'm not gonna because we have to tweak the audio a little bit more because this is what it sounds like right out of the gate. Sounds really good already. But if we're going to go through all this trouble, I'm going to go ahead and tweak the audio because this needs to be leveled out. Because if you look on the right hand side at our bus 1, our master audio, it is red and that means we're clipping, and it's clipping at a really low point in the RPM band. We're not even at, you know, max RPM, max volume, and it's red way down there at like 2,500 RPM, and we've got quite a ways to go. So we need to make sure that this doesn't clip, or if it does clip, it's at the very end, right before it comes back down. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my underhood audio under control, and I'm going to mute my exhaust audio while I do this. So I'm going to actually normalize this down to -10 just to get started. And as you see, that gets us nice and low down here, but I'm probably going to want a little bit more headroom for my exhaust audio. And just like anything in editing, you're going to get into your own file and you're going to tweak it and tweak it and tweak it and tweak it. So I'm going to kind of cut to the chase and just get to the meat of the video here. I'm not going to sit here and try and make it perfect right here in front of you. But one thing I will show you is that no matter where you place your mics and how good they are, you're going to get some kind of unwanted noise, whether it's, you know, lifter tap, wind, unflattering noises that cars makes, like drone and stuff like that. A good way to get rid of that is turn on your equalizer over here. This is not any sort of Fairlight, difficult to run, difficult to figure out deal. I'm going to turn on band 1, and this is under the hood, and I know that this is a nice high-pitched audio. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down. Anything below 100 hertz, I want it gone. And then anything above 10 is probably going to be really that wind that's getting into the gaps between the hood and the quarter panel. So let's give that a listen. Cleaned it up a little bit. I would keep messing with this, but for the sake of the video, let's keep pushing on to band 3. Now, band 3, what I want to do is I want to bump this because I want to isolate or embellish, so to speak, the sound of the supercharger, and that's going to be somewhere around the 3,000, 2,800 mark, but I don't want it 10 dB. I'm going to give it, you know, 2.5, about 2.5. So let's compare that to without the equalizer. You can hear that, the hissing and stuff turning on and turning off. You hear the wind noise turning on, turning off, etc. You get the gist of this. We're going to do the same thing with the engine noise, except out of the tailpipe. And out of the tailpipe, I'm going to switch this where I can actually hear that by itself and mute the underhood audio. With the tailpipe, I know it's got a nice deep rumble, so I'm only going to cut off after 50 hertz. And then my band up here, my band 4, I'm going to cut it off after 10K. And I've already messed with this, and I know my band 3, I want it at about 2 decibels, and I want it at about 3,000. Give that a little bit more bite, and then also, if you can hear, I'm sure you can, it's hard not to hear it, as it shifts, it kind of gets a little crackle in there, especially if it shifts and you come off the throttle at the same time. Let's give it another listen. And so, given that little bump up here, I'm going to give it more than 1.8. I'm going to give it about 2.5, just like the underhood. We'll sort of embellish that as well. The sounds that you hear in real life are always going to be different than what you're going to capture on an audio device, so don't feel too bad at going in there and tweaking it a little bit. Now, if you start throwing synthesizers and stuff like that on it, or putting the audio of a different car over some lame car that you're driving, or some quiet car, that's, to me, going a little bit too far, but you do what you want to do. So I've got these adjusted in the equalizer, and I'm going to have to come off of this one. So how much headroom do we give ourselves with the underhood? We got a few decibels headroom left, so I'm going to normalize this down to -3 and see if we can get them both to play without clipping on bus 1. And that is how you would mix the underhood and exhaust notes of a car. If you guys want a more detailed look at the Jimmy rig, the self-proclaimed Jimmy rig that I use to capture exhaust notes, again, check the description. I'll also put it in the end card. Thank you so much for watching this. Leave a comment down below if you want any more tips, and thank y'all so much for watching. Track mode.
Yep.
Chillers on.
Yep.
Automatic. I don't need to mess with the paddles.
No, you just gotta,
so we're good to go.
Hammer down and eyes up.